Call the meeting of the Leitchfield Utilities Commission to order for Thursday, March the 20th, 2025. You have a draft of the minutes of our meeting held on March 6th. There are no additions or corrections. Would entertain a motion to approve that.
Move.
Second.
Motion by Denver, second by Kevin. All in favor, raise your right hand or say aye.
Aye.
The next item is the approval of the bill list.
I move to pay it as presented.
Motion by Mr. Ferris to pay the bills. Is there a second? By Mayor Miller. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next is visitors. Micah, did you have anything you needed to talk to the commission about? All right. Next is to approve the January 2025 financial statement that was included with your packet last time. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll move.
Motion by Denver, second by Kevin.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, Dwight, you want to go ahead and talk about that just a moment? I think you'd sent out some correspondence on that.
Yeah, Jim Milner at the water plant had two employees, one just passed the 4th class and one passed the 3. And one of them's taking on a lot more responsibility, and Jim felt like that they deserve a little more money, and I agree with him. And do I mention names or?
No. Yeah. Just want to know if anybody had any question about that. But it's $2 per hour pay increase for each of those employees, right?
Yes.
And so it's employee number 2383 and employee number 2390. I do need a motion. Motion by Mr. Alley,
Second.
second by Mr. Blaine. Now, any questions or discussion?
I will mention this, that myself and Denver both have researched it, and it brings these two employees in line with surrounding services of our size. So it's not out of the scope of what these individuals could make if they were to leave us and go somewhere else.
Right.
Any other question or comment? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
The next item is we need an executive session under KRS 61.810, Section 1F for personnel. Is there a motion to enter executive session? By Mayor Miller, second by Denver. Any discussion? All in favor of going to executive session? All right.
Aye.
We'll now go to executive session. Ready?
Yeah. That's what I was getting ready to ask you.
Is there a motion to return from executive session into regular session? By Mayor Miller, second by Mr. Alley. All in favor? Aye. In executive session, the commission was informed by Superintendent Embry of his tentative retirement date, which has been really solidified as October 31st, 2025. And as a result of that, the commission will be, by ordinance, tasked with hiring a replacement and utility superintendent. That's really one of the main things in the utility ordinance is our responsibility. And so we discussed that we really encourage internal candidates, people who are part of our system now, to apply for that position. And we will give them the until the end of April, at the close of business, April 30th. Any internal candidate that's interested in the utility superintendent position needs to submit a resume and a statement of intention to apply for that by that time. That will, at the end of that time, we will take stock of who has applied and review that, conduct interviews, and then go from there to see if we can name our new superintendent. Anything else that needs to be said regarding that? In unfinished business, we've been keeping project updates on there, but as we all know about the weather and I guess some of the bureaucratic processes, there's really nothing new to report, is there?
Nothing other than the wholesale water rate Matt's working on. He sent some preliminary numbers today. And what I'd like to do is schedule a time that Dave and myself and Matt and Sabrina can get together and go over those, make sure that we're where we need to be on that. And it just came in late this afternoon. I haven't had a chance to talk to Dave, but that's what I intend to do.
All right, any questions about that? Next item under unfinished business is the rules and regulations. Dave, you want to help us with that discussion?
Documents you have in front of you there are the rules and regulations that have been amended.
Is it on?
He may have to point it up a little bit toward.
Yeah, they were. I'm sorry. The rules and regulations are in front of you. That's what we have amended and we put together. This is an extremely important document because it deals with the building and it deals with the relationship between us and our customers, their rates, and their responsibilities. So it is an extremely important document. We've made some changes to it. We've met on pretty in-depth changes. And we have sent these changes to you before. To make it easier for you, I underlined those in red, the last changes we made, or I put them in red. Now what's in yellow is what I had put together, and that's a draft. That's a entire new document, and we put that together. It's a new part of this document, and we put it together with regard to discontinuance or refusal of service based upon the new ordinance passed by the city of Leitchfield and that we asked them to pass. And they did do so, and so we're taking care of that. That's what that is. Now, the question we have that we didn't bring before you, and Dwight and I are sorry about that. We kind of overlooked it, didn't we? There was a situation, we didn't come up with an answer with regard to if a customer fills a swimming pool. The way it's written now, it's in section 15D. If a customer fills a swimming pool, they'll be required to pay for all water used. However, if the customer has sewer service, they may have their sewer adjusted once per year. The customer may call the utility prior to filling the pool in order to receive the adjustment. The pool will be measured by the utility before and after filling the pool. The measured amount will be adjusted. Dwight said that's extremely difficult for him to do, and time-wise, it's extremely difficult for the utility to do. So I want to bring it before you tonight and see what you have in mind with regard to that, and then I can tweak that and put it together, and then we can have our rules and regulations like we want them, pass them. And as I've already told Lori, this is to be posted on the site. Each customer will be given a copy of it on a website, and so no one has any questions. When they come in later on, they say, well, I didn't know that existed. That's not true. You know, they've got a copy of it. So we want everybody to understand what it is. Now, the last part that you've never seen before is the and I went ahead and filled this out. This is the up-to-date utility rates, and that's put in red there, some of the items that I hadn't put on there before. That's all that is. So if you want to talk about swimming pools, we'll do it now. Dwight?
Well, it's the biggest complaint I have from at the office, and we haven't been going to measure them because of just manpower shortage. We haven't been measuring since COVID, really. And so we take the customers. We had one customer today, after we do the adjustment on the sewer charge, it calculated that they'll get their sewer free, their whole bill, because the pool, what they used and what they estimated the pool, was more than what they used total. And so we run into things like that, and it's not a lot of money to us. It's according to the girls, it's a big hassle on them. So I don't know. It's whatever y'all think.
Well, I don't see why it would be adjusted down below the minimum sewer bill, but, as I say, it's the one thing that is measurable that gives people that, sometimes they feel like they're buying water that's not going into the sewer, and, why are we paying sewer on it? But,
You could probably put something in there that it would be that amount or no more than 25% or some percentage of, some number, percentage of their usage fee, maybe.
how many people are getting that adjustment?
I don't know. I don't know that number.
I mean, you say it's a big complaint, but it's a complaint from our staff, right? It's not a
Yes,
complaint
from our
the
staff.
public.
Are we not in the service business?
That's kind of my point, is that
If we didn't, if we rely on saying, well, that's hard on our staff, we might liable to make justification for quitting doing anything.
Like Dwight said, it's not a lot of money to us, but it's a lot of, on the other side of it, it could be
It's an adjustment.
an adjustment.
It's an adjustment.
It's a measurable adjustment, that, as Bob said, and it means something to the customer. My opinion is we leave it as it is.
I agree with Kevin.
That suits me. I just echoing what I hear from the front office for years.
How do you measure it? That was a question that I asked you before. I wasn't sure how you would measure it, because they don't empty the pool.
We keep a record of their sizes of the
Yeah,
pools.
but they don't, what I'm saying is, that you told me they didn't empty the pool completely.
Typically, a pool's not emptied completely, no.
So, I mean, I just wondered how you actually measured it.
Prior to Dwight taking it, we required, if they wanted it adjusted, we came and measured what water was in the pool.
Yeah, and most of
I
the
think
calls we get,
that's what I was getting to. I
Yeah.
think you're gonna have to do that, aren't you?
We had, you can Google it now, but we had a chart we used for each diameter pool, and it told you how many gallons was in each inch in that pool. And it was mandated that we measured it prior to them getting an adjustment. If they came in here after they filled it, we didn't grant it.
well,
Well, I need to
that's
add
one of
that.
the problems. We're getting a lot of calls that they've already filled the pool.
And see,
Now,
that's the reason.
I'll back up on my statement if that's the issue.
Yeah.
If they do it before they contact us,
Well, that's what I'm saying.
all rules are
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm saying. I think we need to put that in our,
Well, that's in there. It says the customer must call the utility prior to filling the pool in order to receive this adjustment.
okay, yeah.
That's in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's been
Is there not any kind
followed.
of metering device that you can put on the faucet that would, they say we're gonna start filling up 8 o'clock Friday morning?
It-
That would, a metering device that would be between the hose and the house.
You'd have too many at one time, I think, trying to fill for us to justify
Yeah,
buying that many. It was fairly simple. I mean, when we went out, we measured, well, they called and told us it was full. We can tell where it gets to a skimmer. They can kind of get an idea how many inches it's going to take to get to the point to operate the pool, and we didn't go back a second time. They told us it was full. Deducted, if it was a 30-inch pool and it had 10 or 12 inches in it, we deducted that off of what it took to get it operational.
Kevin, they still do that also. I know I've heard the girls ask several times when they call in how much water is in it, and they chart that down, and they do take that off still, but I mean.
Correct,
Like
but
Dwight said, we're not going out, but they do ask if it has any water in it, so.
But there are customers that are going to fill it up, like Dwight said, it's going to come in that they don't owe us anything. And that's because we don't know how much water was in the pool to start with.
Yeah.
It's already measured.
That's the only way that they could come up with less, would be to get credit for the entire pool when it's half full of water.
And we have had some fill up the pool with the fire hydrant. So we don't charge zero on that.
Well, we can rent the hydrant meter for that. There's still a charge for that, correct?
Yeah, we can.
I'm in agreement with the others that I think Section D is okay with the way it's written.
Okay, okay. That's the reason I want to bring it up, because Dwight and I had talked about it, and Alicia had talked about it, and we want to make sure everybody was on the same wavelength.
So if that's the case, are we ready to vote on it?
We're ready to go. It's ready to go.
So you have this copy in front of you that's been provided that we've looked at on several times. Is there a motion to adopt this policy?
I'll make the
Rules and regulations, motions by Mr. Blaine,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Ferris. Any questions about the rules and regulations and schedule of rates and charges?
I would
Keep-
like to add to that motion. I think we put it in before, but I'd like to add to that particular motion that it be placed on our website so that everyone will have access to it on the website. In addition to that, all new customers will get a copy of it. Of course, they always get a copy of it.
Is that part of your motion?
Yes. that's
And it
part of the motion.
might also, Lori, benefit us to throw it out on that app for the people that have the app. Pool season's starting. If you plan on filling your pool, be sure and contact City Hall beforehand.
Yeah, I can do that.
So
We
we've got
actually
several
have
hundred
a
people on that now.
PowerPoint that we put on Channel 2, so I can just clip that and send it out in the morning.
Keep in mind, as far as the rates go, anytime we make a rate change, it affects this, and it just becomes part of it.
Right.
So,
That's, as I said before, that is the current rates.
yeah. Motion has been made, second. Any other comment, discussion that you want to make before we vote? Not all in favor of the motion to adopt these rules and regulations? Aye. Any other unfinished business? We're open down to new business. New. Under other, the next chamber luncheon's Thursday, April 3rd. That's a week earlier than normal. Please let Lori know by Monday, March 31st, if you plan to attend that. Any other business? Motion to adjourn would be accepted. It's made by Mayor Miller, seconded by Mr. Ferris. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.